is one way to put what this series is. Two potential new champions. Only one can be crowned the overall glorious leader of Oceania. I just can't believe that we are going to have two new faces in the server playing for only one spot. There is so much experience coming from the leaders of these rosters, but now is when you have to step up. Now you have to wipe away the past series and focus in on the last chance to make it to EWC. It's time for us to get underway with Clubhouse in our grand final, and casting it, narrating it, are the ever so wonderful Guz and Xenox.
Well, when we began this stage, what feels like a lifetime ago, Guz, I probably didn't anticipate it was an Enterprise Ludavica grand final for Oceania, but here we are. And to be fair, well-deserved as well for both of these two teams. Enterprise have been flawless ever since that second play day in the group stage where they did lose to Outlast. Since then, they've not dropped a single map. For Ludavica, it's been an up-and-down kind of stage, even reflected in their playoffs where they beat CS, but then they lost to Enterprise, but they've run the gauntlet. Now they get that second chance against Enterprise in the biggest match of all, the grand final. 300 SI points on the line, the majority of the prize pool, of course. For those that finish first in this region, you get invited to the Esports World Cup as well. And for Ludavica, for me, it's a free punch. Like, this is a roster that came into today entirely focused on that Game of Gladiators match. They won that in the canter. They probably should have closed out Consulate far earlier, far sooner. But I think the fact that GG came back 4-star team might be better for Ludavica now coming into the grand final. A little bit of adversity rather than a clean sweep. Enterprise, they are absolutely the favorites of this one. We head to Clubhouse first out. I was kind of talking to you a little bit before we got the throw about the maps. Enterprise have not played Border this entire stage, so they've pulled this one out for the grand final. Clubhouse is a map we've seen these two teams, of course, actually play on back in the group stage. Enterprise 1-7-5 over Ludavica on this very map, so an intriguing decision as well by Ludavica to send us back to Club, especially since Bank was actually available, and that is a map they have been playing vigorously. And on the other side of the coin, Border is one of their top two bans. So they've let that one through, and Enterprise have taken it.
10 seconds remaining.
Bans on the board. Azami, Mirror for defense. Thermite and Ace, so focus on hard breach on the attack. Enterprise wanting that off the board. And on the defense, it will be a roam employed, Castle in play, Scopos as well. They'll be the two main operators to facilitate that combination of the Vigil, of course, as well. Bappin will have some versatility on the roam. Ludavica with a cheeky little break after essentially dismantling GG.
Milo didn't get much of a break either. He was great in the interview. But here we are. The moment has arrived. The grand final for Oceania. And Ludavica get really such a good opportunity. For Enterprise, can they really just nail home a grandstand stage, even with a player swap mid-stage? Player has come in and done a tremendous job, but now the biggest task of all. And for Lunchbox, guys, I was on the desk earlier with Vincier and Rob, and I was mentioning in the interview with Milo, his playoffs have been well below his group stage performances, but could he turn it on here in the grand final? For a player that is really coming up into the region and making a name for himself. 2 minutes to go in this round. Not much to begin with. Player, lurk over towards stock, but he can drop the hatch and probably will. At this point, considering it's basement, we've got a minute 50. If he hasn't really seen a lot, he'll probably just play the drop. But he wants to make contact first. Box searching for said contact. He's actually cut off the drop, but it's player that hits the headshot. So Box will fall. The opening death of the grand final is the young gunner. 90 seconds left. Advantage for Enterprise.
Yeah, we had our doubts over player replacing Killerman midway through the stage, and we thought that may throw the team off, but it seems that it has been actually an improvement statistically right up there. Player, he's had a phenomenal stage thus far. Bappin now bedroom under pressure from the BB, forced back. There's no one on the cutoff over towards red stairs, and so he should have a decent path out if he wants to go that side, but instead elects to go Logi. Pressure mounting on the roam. Luda wanting to clear it as quickly as possible.
Blackbeard pushing up. That's Karma. He was really, really good in that lower bracket final. Looking to take the contest, though, is Bappin. He's feeling confident, and why shouldn't he? Hits one, then the second. And so far, it's all business from Enterprise to kickstart the grand final. The opening kill coming from Player, followed up by the good work, top floor from Bappin on the Vigil. And so far, the roam has been very successful. Why not? And Bappin's the kind of player, if he's feeling it, he can do some damage. Coming into the grand final, the fourth best player in the region, 118 EPS. having arguably his best stage as well. And that's been probably the common trend for Enterprise. You think about relays, you think about even Player coming in. Player comes into this. Now, he's only played the 41 rounds, but 133 EPS in those rounds. 42 kills, 19 deaths. That is a huge, huge start. And Kara just says, yeah, let's just chill out a little bit.
Yeah, not quite sure who's heading this conversation at the moment. It feels like all the players that we looked at weren't even discussing anything. Anyway, EP pumped up.
Yeah.
Good successful roam, just outgunning their opposition.
And I think it's good that they're pumped up. I mean, it's a grand final. It's the opening round. Yeah, obviously it ended up a little bit anticlimactic, but that's fine. But you've kind of been sitting back, and I imagine those guys would have been obviously watching the lower bracket final and doing their due diligence and watching the whoever they were going to play, either GG or Ludavica. And now it's like getting to the server, get pumped up. They have to kind of do that. Whereas for Ludavica, it's, and this is the issue with paying back-to-back best of threes, you're riding that emotional wave where you're so high and then you've got to come back down, have a break, and then try and get underway.
I mean, the roam clear here was far from optimal. I mean, Bappen played it amazingly well. I thought that very aggressive logic would actually be, you know, cut off a little bit better there by Luda, but some good individual prowess, and prior to that, player winning a clean one with the swing as well.
It is the map pick of Ludavica, but you're playing attack Clubhouse, and it's also basement first round, so you're not going to be too dismayed by that performance, but certainly a convincing start for Enterprise, who have just gone from strength to strength this stage, and it feels like they just get better and better. Of course, these two teams played in the upper bracket semi-final. It was a 2-0, 8-6 in favor of EP on Bank. That one was ultra competitive, but it was that Chalet, that 7-0, and of course that was instantly banned out by Ludavica. We spoke to Milo in the interview as well regarding that performance, and he said they just kind of crashed a little bit. Like that 8-6 game on Bank, it was a back-to-back best of 3 night for them, so that was their second best of 3. And after losing that close one, they kind of just, you know, shut down. Can't have that in the grand final.
Hopefully something similar doesn't happen here, provided they are able to win the opening map. Board is going to be really tough to close us out in 2. So 3 maps is very much the expected path if Luda are to push this.
On the flip side, Bank, though, is actually a pretty good map for Ludavica if they can get there.
And they played it well earlier, that's for sure.
So we got a gym bedroom, second round. First nitro from Fisho Guy doesn't really attest to much. And we'll play close with the Ella.
Yeah, this trick is not right. I think it's bottom right. No. Uh-oh.
Kyra's thinking the same thing. We'll go back to the old days here where you're just making an absolute mess here on the trick.
I think it's the top left.
There we go. A little delayed.
That's right. Not too devastating.
To be fair, at the same time, Box was able to at least push all the way rafters and start to get a little bit of control. I'd like to get some pressure in towards Cash.
Relay's lurking below at the moment, so potential nitro opportunity as Bappen's under pressure.
Bappen was the one looking to seek the pressure. He was getting aggressive. Got flashed out, stalled, but holds the position. Box on the Blackbeard, lost his life too easily. Bappen's feeling it, 6-0 start, 3 in this round. Might as well go for another. It's a quad from Bappen. It's a stronghold, and it's an amazing start for Enterprise in the grand final. It's 2 very dominant rounds to begin.
Okay. Bappen's feeling it. Good individual hold over towards Cash again, showing really good mechanics like he did in the prior round, and also just his prioritization in terms of the targets that he was taking was absolutely spot on as well, leaving very narrow trade windows there for Luda. He kind of got caught fumbling through that CC clear.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So we look back at the highlights from that prior round, 4 versus 4, and Bappen just takes it upon himself to find 2. And Physics got caught out in the open, and Milo as well stranded as player picked up that final kill. But very, very strong start here from EP.
Well, we're talking about relays before. Rob actually mentioned it on the grand final pre-match desk about, you know, relays and his history, and obviously he was amazing last year at stage 2 in what was essentially a debut stage. Bappen is someone that we are also quite familiar with. He was the 28th rated player in the stage at the end of last year, at 96 EPS, -6 KD, -2 entry. You look at his numbers this stage, +36 KD, still only the -1 entry, but that's 10-11. That's a lot of contests, and a 118 EPS puts him 4th.
I mean, and second of the players remaining. And you could even attest that with player having limited rounds, that he's essentially vying for the top the top player inside the server right now.
If you were to put an asterisk on round played minimum having to be over a certain threshold, he's the #1 player in the grand final.
Yeah.
And he started off beautifully, 6-0. And that's really been the storyline, I guess, for the playoff bracket that we've had, with Chiefs GG getting knocked out. It's that new blood coming through, really taking that next step. We've seen that with the likes of Relays and Bappen. Yeah, especially, I mean, Tuhan at this point probably feels like one of the older players in this grand final. Certainly Fisher guy is back over towards Kennel's wall. Cash and CCTV and Ludavica need a round, and honestly, not even a round win. They need to just be involved in a round. They need to make it a contest, because so far, they've not been able to contest either of the opening 2 rounds.
I'm guessing they're shaping pond side here. They don't have Grim or Cap for Rafters, so I presume that's not a condition they're going for. And considering a pretty swift entry on the opposing side of the map, indicating that that will likely be the play.
I've seen Milo speak high praise of Enterprise and his thoughts on that particular team. Bappen opening kill on to Physics.
Is that wall open? I don't think it is, right? Yeah,
that's a mess. That looks like my cooking.
Yeah, some foundational issues at the moment for Luda to kick off Club on a map where those kinds of mistakes are really exposed.
They picked it as well. Might not get the opportunity to go to bank if they don't kick into gear. Eli's flamed off towards bot main. There's only 60 seconds left as well, and it doesn't really feel like they've got a lot of control around the map. They don't really have the breach either now. Milo in con, Karma in stage. So they're quite split in terms of the players that are actually in the building. Enterprise is sitting very comfortably.
Oh, that's a big pick. And Bappen over towards Garage got yellow pinged as well, so Karma may be able to compound here.
I don't think Relays had to go hunting.
No. 4 versus 4. And Bappen again is in a bit of a compromised position here. I thought he got pinged, but maybe not.
Taking the
position down then.
He's expecting to get pinched, but so far, no real help coming for Cairo, and he got shot through the doorway from player in the rafters. So Bappen does have that help from up above. Only 2 players left up for Ludavica. Time running out. And let's be honest, this round looks cooked. 3-0 start. I wouldn't be surprised to see an early timeout from Ludavica in the grand final. There's just no time.
So 3 straight for EP, off to a clean start. And as he called it, fist bumping next to me is Jake Luda calling a TT.
I don't know what it is. I just have that like timeout tingling sense every time. I mean, to be fair, it's an easy one to kind of call. 3-0 down, you call the timeout, you go into the bands, and then you go into the rotates for the next sites. Clearly not the start to the grand final that you want. And to be completely honest and transparent, I think for Ludavica, they needed to do the complete opposite of this. Come out hot. Really get off to that great start. Carry momentum from the previous series that they just played in that lower bracket final. Instead, it's the complete opposite. You know, the joke was in the previous match, what was it, Wettable said, calm as ice, and the calm, well, they look cold, and not in the nice, calm ice way. They look absolutely frozen right now. It's like they just haven't gotten to the server.
Yeah. Additional bans have also been added. It's the Ella banned out by Luda and the Mav by AP.
Even these kind of things as well with the CC wall. Like a lot of that is really your own doing.
I'd be leaving the Mav up. I feel like it's causing more problems than it is offering solutions for the attack currently. We've seen it a couple of times stall out and cause complications.
Help them out. Bappen 7-1 start. Player 5-0 in the opening 3 rounds. He continues. He's now technically 47-19 since coming in replacing Killerman. That is staggering numbers.
I think they have the right composition of players that fits the meta right now. They have 4 players that can all gun.
And the best IGL in the region.
And you have arguably the best IGL / background strat maker in the region. Yep. Like, the team is stacked.
So timeout expires for Ludavica. They must turn things around quickly. They need at least 2 rounds. It's always that pass mark on the attack, so they get 3 opportunities to find 2. But I do fear for them on Border. Border, to me, just kind of screams as a map that when you look at Enterprise, player, Tuhan, Bappen, Relays just running around, running rampant. I mean...
Firepower issues on Clubhouse will only be exacerbated on especially Border attacks. Yeah. It's going to be so tough to keep pace with EP if they continue to play like this. That's why this first map is really critical. It's difficult to foresee Luda being able to win map 2.
And the strength of Ludavica is their entry game as well, and yet right now they're not finding any success in that. Coming into the grand final, that's been really what has been their #1 standout, 57% on entries. Enterprise are 53. Not a big difference. But clearly for Ludavica, that has to be where they're getting their round wins from. Play to your strength. So far, struggling in that department. 2 of the opening kills have gone the way of Enterprise. Bappin with 2 3Ks. Golly lol. And you know what?
Tui's been chippy.
Yeah, but
Or chipper.
isn't that a weakness potentially for Ludavica? I feel like they're the kind of team they can let that stuff mentally get to them.
Potentially. I think one of their strengths throughout this entire bracket and the stage as a whole has been their ability to often start out really well on maps. And then even when it gets difficult, like it did in that GG series, they built up that buffer and that confidence that they can eventually fall back on.
Absolutely.
Starting like this, I don't know if they have the ability now to bounce back. This is a really, really good test on.
Really good test in the grand final of all matches for them to see if they can really pull this one back. It's only a 3-0 start, but it's the way in which these rounds have been won.
Been so dominant so far. I mean,
5 alive, 3 alive, 3 alive.
yeah, the numbers speak for themselves. You got Bappin running around with 230 EPS and you're target banning Ella. Like,
Yeah.
It's a very strange situation to find yourself in.
Basement now for this 4th round. Minute 20, no one has died. That's a positive so far for Ludavica. The longest they've had 5 players alive so far in this half. Milo, though, gets taken all the way down.
Oh, he
too
loses
hard.
that.
Does get knocked and eventually finished off by Cairo, but the opening kill will statistically go the way of Enterprise, despite being essentially traded straight away. To be fair, at this point, the Buck either has done his job or there's not really a whole lot more time for him to do his job.
I don't think so, though. I'm not seeing a ton of Vern. So,
He was playing all the way top floor.
oh, man, there's minimal. It's definitely overall a win for Tuhan. He'll already have those devices already deployed. So, a win for the defense early here, 45 seconds on the board.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of time. Player caught out by the flash, did get tagged, but he makes his way in towards Church, gets out alive. Still no real pressure, only just now Karma towards blue. Shield away, gun up, box in towards oil pit. So they're going for a blue pinch.
Cairo will reposition down main, look for the pinch down the hallway. Physics, he's the one with the diffuser in hand. What kind of drop is he positioning for? It looks like they're posturing for the Moto drop in combination with the gen clear.
I mean, what year is this, though? There's 17 seconds on the clock, and you're looking for a hit. Flash out, relays full wide. Bappin finds the kill onto box. Can't push through oil pit. Bot main for Cairo. In Moto, Physics is able to go and find 2 kills. It's a 2v1, but Fisho, this is where he does his best work. And best work indeed from Fisho Guy to stop that plant, and he's not going to give Cairo the opportunity to get the kill. Fisho clutches up, and that's why they're the best team in the region right now, led by the best IGL in the region.
Well, he did give a window, but it was a very narrow one, and Cairo trying to still locate his exact position. Physics
He's a winner, though, Fisher.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just staggering to think that he was essentially discarded. He's come back with a vengeance, and it's almost in somewhat a similar circumstance to Oda last year. You think back stage 2, kicked off of his team, Team Bliss. They joined GG, goes and joins with Chiefs and gets Jigsaw and comes back and wins. And Fisher's done something similar to that this stage. Has to close it out, but he's on his way, and his team is on their way for nothing. And it's the fact they're keeping players alive in a lot of these rounds as well. 9-2 start for Bappin, player 5-1, Fisho 3-1, and I think that's also a big strength of Fisho is he doesn't really lose his life early in these rounds. Think back to the legendary Juicy on the old Knights days, and that was a big strength of his ability to stay alive, play a hard anchor, always be available for 1vx's. Fisho's certainly capable. The interesting stat is probably Physics, though, being the best player in the region when it comes to the 1vx success rate. He's had 5 of those, higher than anyone else. And honestly, it's an intriguing little battle because Physics played so well in that lower bracket final earlier today. And right now, he's a player that is very comparable to someone like Fisher Guy.
Yeah, Luda have played more than double the amount of rounds this stage than EP. Fisho does not have a single 1vx win. I mean, probably because a lot of their rounds have been dominant, to be fair. So
Yeah.
but there's that asterisk. And yeah, Physics was with 5 clutches. So we could see those two duel it out quite a bit in this particular series. The clash in play for the 5th round.
solo clash too towards red. So Fisher is really just playing for information, little stall out. He's not looking to really contest, take fights. Could call Bapid over towards Cash. And the clash is so versatile now, being able to just put that shield down and take the fight if you so choose to. Player has slipped in towards clash, so they can be a little bit more aggressive on this horizontal hold.
Yeah, he'll probably play for a Nitro rip over the top. Thatcher is in play here for Luda to try and use that as a tool to clear clash. Nitro goes out. Just falls short of the mark.
And just a little to the right as well, so they've allowed their entry in. Box with the opening kill onto player, clears him out. But Fisher was so quick to adapt, pivot, straight through Cash in towards Logi. Didn't stay and fight. He understood, I think we've messed this one up. He falls back, he stays alive 4v4. So Luda get the entry, they don't get the clash.
Still probably works out to be another trade slightly in favor of EP. Didn't get to track how much utility Milo still had in pocket, but naturally it will be a win for defense. And Milo's shown some really, really sharp late game play so far this afternoon.
Well, he said in the interview that if someone's having maybe not the best of performances, others are there to pick up the slack. But right now, no one's picking up much of the slack, and they're all underperforming. You're playing against a high-quality opposition. That just sometimes is the way things go. Still over a minute. Not the worst for time as they open up Jacuzzi, but it's this clash that I'm just worried about. It's going to stall them out.
Good drone from Cairo, though. They have info, I think, for the gym hit.
Yeah, double red ping intel, and all Candelas, by the way, have been thrown in. This is the hit. They're not going to be just wasting this. Shield down
Good
from
shield.
Fisho, but he stays up for now. Clear out the bathroom. Nicely done from Cairo. Now going positive. Now the 3-on-2. Got to get this kill, and he does. Good angle found, and Bappin will fall elsewhere. Relays did find the kill onto Physics and finds himself in a 1v3, but Karma hits the headshot, and Ludavica hit the scoreboard.
That's really good initiative from Cairo in that round. We catch the tail end of the drone and the 2K. Massive impact. They found themselves in a really awkward position there. The diffuser was stranded outside Jacuzzi, and Physics understandably didn't want to try and solo enter that without a bit of control and presence and pressure elsewhere. So again, credit to Physics. He was patient. He didn't give away his life for free and leave the kit stranded. He let others do the work. Good clear from Cairo, and finally they get around on the board.
And they only need a second, really, for it to be a half that, yeah, maybe not successful, but certainly not bad.
Competitive.
Yeah. Vapid does go to double digits after that round and has been sensational. Could Cairo be the one to do some of the heavy lifting, and certainly in that round took the onus on himself to be that entry player and open things up through gym, cleared out bathroom, cleared out bedroom.
Attackers have located a bomb.
And this is the round that if Ludavica can find a successful round win, then the grand final really
10
begins.
seconds remaining.
Otherwise, a 5-1 deficit is going to be a tall order against an Enterprise team that are so dominant. I think back to the group stage when I think we were doing the co-stream game between Enterprise and Gaming Gladiators. It was on this very map, and Gaming Gladiators were on defense, and they got 5-1 by EP. And I think it was at that point, then and there, was like, okay, we got to take these guys quite seriously now, because they just absolutely demolished Gaming Gladiators on Attack Club.
Oh, they attack across the board throughout the stage. Has been by far and away the best in the league.
65%. I think
yeah,
we were.
65.
I was having a look. It's actually statistically the best in all of the regions.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, maybe the strength of Oceania not quite up to par with some of the others. You look at like G2 are at 60% in EML. That is quite staggering. But 65% attacker win rate is, yeah, just incredible numbers. So by no means will it be a free second half for Ludavica. Drone down main. Tuhan, I thought maybe for a second thought he got misdroned, but did come back up. Feeling the heat.
And we know how Tuhan can fire up as well, and he has been largely
Yep.
ineffective rather.
Relays 1 and 3 as well. Bappin and Player have been doing the majority of the heavy lifting. Cash and CCTV, certainly in terms of the positioning of Ludavica, looking for a con-side hit, no presence towards Garage. They have got CC wall opened up. So right now just doing their work over to the con side of the map, which was being slightly contested by Tuhan, but now has fallen back into Cash. Fisher does have a shockwire battery and may look to contest the con single wall.
So Capital con, not for Garage clear, which you would typically see on this site.
Oh,
Tuhan
Tuhan timed.
That was awkward. And a bit of a free opening pick there for Luda.
Is Fisher's going for this wall trick? I don't think so. Not anymore,
How's that
especially
not
now with the
finished him?
pressure.
There we go.
And the Flames were there to also deny that. So far, good utility usage as well from the Capital Meloska to deny the Bandit the ability to keep that wall closed. It has now been opened. They've got pressure. Fisher expecting CC window will be the next target point. Physics holding with the diffuser. Support v support potentially. Throws out the fake drone to expect if there's going to be someone to swing, but Fisher has now repositioned and does have the only Nitro available for Enterprise.
You can see the blue outline in the background. Curry potentially for a lurk. Probably aim to go red stairs and apply pressure late round. Could also go main breach. Diffuser still out on vents, and Karma able to find a second.
Fisher got caught in the corner of CCTV. Relays makes his way up towards red stairs. There's actually a double stack top red now for EP. Relays slips in towards Cash, looking to delay and deny, and he does do so. Got traded. Still time, and so far this is all going the way for Ludavica. Bappin, as good as he's been, that's a round he can't bring back. And Ludavica have kickstarted the grand final now. Now it's a grand final. 2-4 half on Clubhouse. Job done. Now you go defense. And the job starts again, because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's quite a surgical clear there from the attack, and by far and away the most precise that we have seen so far. There was some moments from EP that they'd probably want to take back, that mid-round aggression. And likely, Fisher getting caught, started to break things down, Relays forced to make a play, and whilst that was successful, Luda, were pretty switched on and able to trade. So
there's just nowhere for Fisher to go. You cross right side, across the window, you're dead. The way that they cleared out Cash as well, with the Capital bolt essentially blocking off that position behind the rear wall. If you try and slip in, say, towards top red, you're cutting across the doorway. You can't really do that either. So he's just kind of stuck and got cleared. Really nicely done from Ludavica, and shows what they can do when they're on. I think the opening couple of rounds, for me, I just put it down to the fact that EP were aggressive, their roam was really, really successful, and maybe Ludavica just weren't quite, tuned all the way to 100% ready to go. Almost like slowly warmed into it. Now they're in here, though.
So it's double hard breach, again banned out. Hibana, Ace. Defensively, Kayid, very prominent on basement, and Mirror popular on almost all sites.
A double hard breach ban here for Ludavica. Interesting decision. And the reason why I say that is it leaves the shield play up, and Fisher can play those shields really, really well. And you think about his role on this team, doesn't need to frag, doesn't need to be gun up, so get him on the Monty, get him to scout, find info, and Fisher with info can just about do anything with it to relay over to the rest of the team.
I'm reloading.
Karma now up to 5 kills as well. He's someone that performed really well in that lower bracket final.
Jammer ready to activate. Keep us straight through. Deploy barrier.
So how do EP then shape up on an attack? They've been, by far and away, as we mentioned just earlier, the best in OCE, and having one of the highest, if not the highest rate globally as well. Tuhan with the boost over towards blue, has a bit of a peek. We saw earlier Karma posturing in that particular position, wanting to hold Secret for a little while longer, maybe chip away a drone utility, but gets caught. That's sharp from Tuhan. Perhaps expecting Karma to be up close. Player already in bedroom, pressuring main stairs, but doesn't want to now give away his life. Obviously now with advantage and wants to vert out Kitch. Kare will probably now be prompted to play a little bit more aggressive himself over towards main stairs on the clash as well. CJX will force him back.
I do wonder how aggressive you maintain a position like this, though, when you're now down a player. So far, the opening kills metric that we always look at in terms of the conversions. Only one round has not been converted. Big kill this round for Enterprise. Now looking to put pressure towards that bot main. Kara's going to give it up.
Well, they got Thatcher EMP'd, so that does weaken his hold a little bit. So he senses that pressure and retreats.
Stock hatch, kitchen hatch to still be worked on. Player, though, with the skeleton key getting to work. Although he only has 5 bullets left in that skeleton key. Fisher guy with the candelas.
I mean, look at the belt of util they have. They have every piece of utility essentially still up at this point, and a lot of time.
Capital's full bolt. 2 flashes on the Buck as well. Logic Bomb available even after this one expires. There is still 60 seconds, and there are still 2 Nitrocells available for Ludavica, plus the Warden. So impactful against the flashes and the Candelas that are up for Enterprise, plus potential smoke play from the Capitao. Really important Box stays alive here.
Yeah, he's got to deny the hatch drop, and Physics will get double pinched. Gen. Milo can hold up close against the Moto drop. Tuhan does get the first though. Milo caught. Box and Physics, the last 2 up, make it 1.
Wow, that's just losing too many players too soon. Box, there's 1, 3 to go. Plank going down deep side of Arsenal towards default, caught on the backside by Tuhan. And that's what Enterprise can do. Systematic team. Play to the util that they've got, and it's that 1, 2, 3, go mentality that they have, led by Fisho Guy. There's no one that's going a little too early. They're playing off each other well. Everyone knows their role, what they've got to do, and when they've got to do it. 5-2 up now. Enterprise really showcasing why they are the best team in the region.
Yeah, really playing with purpose in the last minute of that round. Tuhan with a really good read on that opening pick, a slight off-angle position on that little boost. That helped open up Blue later on in the round, which was quite impactful, but it was a really good multi-pronged attack. You know, split theory, whatever you want to call it, right, where you're converging from so many positions on a site like on Club Basement, provided that you have the util, which they did, and your timing is pretty well in sync, which it was. You're often in a really good position to be able to win out rounds like that.
I think the biggest issue that last round as well for Ludavica, you lose Karma so early. So not only is he your best fragger and has been performing as such throughout the playoffs, but you're also now down a player playing basement, which limits your ability to then get re-aggressed.
It's so hard.
It's so difficult.
Almost instantly after we switched off Karma, we saw player already bedroom. Like, the EP are not messing around and taking up those pockets of space, probably off the back of pre-placed drones. And it's just, it makes it essentially impossible to get any kind of map control back, which has kind of become a bit of the meta on defense, is at that sort of 1:30 to 1 minute mark, especially if you're down. Team like GG, really good example, they always want to re-aggress and recontest, and they just weren't given that chance.
And I think that's what you need to do against a team like Enterprise, who probably play into those set plays and they want to get everyone into position. Fisher's calling what we need to do, etc. You want to disrupt that. You essentially want to catch them while they're calling out what they're going to do and catch them before they're able to do it. It's hard to do that if you're losing players early. The jacuzzi opened up. Physics is close by in bathroom, and it is gym bedroom for this round. Double, in fact, triple stack on the red cash hold. Cairo, though, now slips in towards Con. And the beautiful thing about Fisher Guy is you don't really notice him all that often. It's almost like you sometimes forget he's in the server.
Which is a positive.
That's a huge positive.
As strange as that is,
because he probably has the most impact in the server. You just don't see it in terms of KDA.
Yeah.
What kind of impact can Milo have here? Top red, Monty pushing him, and he's an experienced player. Activates the glasses, probably wants to go for the rotate, and he does, and he gets it successfully. Does have a Nitrocell, re-aggresses. I guess he did that while the flames were still up, knowing he can't push that top red position. Now he's got to be very careful. Super aggressive play, but Bappin was able to kill Box through that doorway. Now he's got the pinch as well, coming through. Headshot angle found from Milo. Now looking to come through is the Montang and Fisho, but they don't have that pressure coming from CC doorway, so Tuhan has had to rotate over. There he comes through the doorway. Milo now knows again, hey, one top red, one in the CCTV doorway, I need some help. And that's what Kara is trying to do. He's just trying to keep that Monty back, but the Monty's a Monty for a reason and has been able to push into Cash. And now Relays takes top red. Big battle here, and Fisho does get taken down by Cairo. Karma finds the kill onto player, and this aggression from Ludavica finally gets them in a good position for a round.
Yeah, Cairo and Karma, we were watching on the overhead to our left, were offering a lot of support to Milo.
Oh, a little teabag. 2-1 onto Milo.
Milo did his job. He stayed alive and got a pick. That was big. And then the other two supporting at distance. Physics can lock down any lurk potential from the back here. That was a good, solid defense. And trading out the Monty was huge.
You're 5-2 up. I guess you can go for those kind of plays, but you're 2-3 down in the round. 30 seconds. 2 adrenal surges available. Make that 1 with the activation from Tuhan on the Finker. 20 seconds, and now they know full well it's 1 from Logi, 1 potentially unknown. That's Relays in Con. He'll pick the doorway, but no contact onto him. Flash comes out. Now they know, and certainly Karma does, because he's got his head ripped taken off. Whoa. And the 2 outplay the 3 and make that 6 rounds now for Enterprise, and it got Fisho amped up. You can't be losing those rounds in a grand final. And that makes it even worse because Tuhan teabagged Milo, then went and clutched the 2v3. How do you come back from that?
Well, we've had a lot of grand finals in the history of OCE, and for the most part, quite competitive. So far, this is shaping up to be
more competitive than last stage.
Yeah, this one's shaping up to be perhaps one of the more one-sided, especially in recent history.
What's been probably the most competitive stage of OCE for years now. Overall,
it's strange because the discussion so far throughout the stage is it feels more competitive, and then,
and then
well, we're going to look back at this grand final and be like...
And you know what? If EP clean sweep the grand final, you actually look back at the whole stage and you think this is a team that went 6-1 in group stage, didn't drop a single map in the playoffs. Where's the competition?
I think we labelled them as a dark horse, right, heading into the stage. At least us two personally didn't want to rule them out, but I certainly wasn't looking at them as being dominant.
I think very early on, I was saying essentially GG, Chiefs, and Enterprise, they're the three.
Yeah.
And as we've kind of gotten to, it's actually Ludavica that probably ended up surprising the most, despite the fact that we've seen from EP how good they've actually been. They've gone that maybe one extra step than we thought they had within them, and boy, they're showing it in this grand final. 6-2 up. Ludavica down on their map pick by 4 rounds. And fresh off of a 2-0 lower bracket final where, you know, they would have had the adrenaline, everyone would have been up and about. This is a real downer. Like, this is like, you're up here, you've just won a lower bracket final, you're in a grand final, and now it's like, oh.
And this is EP up 6-2 with player, statistically the best player in the league, the worst performing player on the team at the moment, 96 CPS. I mean, it is very even spread, so it's not a massive outlier, but still.
I do wonder, though, you know, very quickly, but like Milo has always spoken so highly of this EP roster every time we've spoken to him. Is it a little too much respect? Like, you got to have a little bit of like, no, we can take these guys, and we have never gotten that from him, at least publicly. Clear, box, trying to be aggressive, and at this point you kind of have to be honest.
Barrier deployed.
Oh, flamed out, goes right side, and Box did hit the headshot. They get traded. That's a win in my book, though, because he basically has to just play to get the kill, because he's probably going to die there if he doesn't get the kill, and he at least got it. Takes the Grim with him, but to be fair, that is also the Rafters position opened up. Physics has gone prone at the Rafters.
And it's also
window.
Fisher, who's going to be quite comfortable just sitting drones and making calls. I think that's kind of the position that he's going to enjoy.
I mean, it's like Box at least gets the most out of that, but like it's still probably decent for Enterprise.
Physics on Rafters.
And they know that he's there. And they're looking for the clear, and he's on so low health. He needs some help. Someone has to re-aggress, but how? Where? When?
They don't have the utility to clear it, though.
Karma's all the way over towards bedroom.
Just sit here, Physics. Just sit here. Waste time.
He just has to make sure he just, at least, as you said, waste more time. If it's a 4v3, that's fine if it's only 30 seconds left on the clock.
No grenades, no explosives. The only way EP get this pick is by Physics moving, and he's not going to be forced to move.
Oh yeah, out in the balcony. Karma might hear him. That could be a potential kill. He's in bedroom. He could swap over towards the con position. Has been castle barricaded off, though. And Relay does find the angle. And Karma lost his battle. He needed to win. Kyra at least gets the trade, but he too gets traded. Bappen falls now to 1v2. Milo, the old Wally veteran, can't get it done. It's a 7-2 start in the grand final. Never feel like this grand final has gotten off to much, but for Enterprise, it's the most outstanding start. I mean, this, as you said, is usually a region that has competitive grand finals. This one's certainly anything but. Enterprise flexing their muscles all over Ludavica.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Ludavica, unfortunately, just not here in this series. Now, whether you want to, you know, hash that up to the fact that they've already played a pretty emotionally taxing best of 3, or the fact that, well, Enterprise might literally just be leaps and bounds above the rest of the region, it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, Enterprise have gotten off to the best start you could ever ask for in a grand final, Vinny.
Yeah, they have, and I mean, we just saw there those first 2 rounds from Bappen. I think he had 6 kills at the end of the first 2 rounds, basically on solo roams by himself. Ludavica just didn't have the ability to clear him out, and he made the most of it. So, able to set the tone of the map, And yeah, just from there, they just rode that momentum, and yeah, it wasn't even really close in the end.
It feels like Enterprise kind of have the recipe for the perfect team right now. They've got this solid foundation of a backbone, a Fisher guy. He's getting on now. We were talking about this. He's turning 27 later this year. That's pretty old for a Rainbow Six player, especially in OCE. A lot of them tend to retire when they hit 25. Not only has he got that, he's got the game knowledge. Like, you've played with the guy. Like, you know how he works. You know the way he sees the game. You know the way he can tutor and teach these young gunners. And he can also clutch up, like 4th round deep, right? 1v2 for Fish. All in a day's work for the big dude, and he knows exactly how to play it. Like, he's got all these like little tendrils of players like Bappin who can just go on their solo roams, 3K, Fisher 1v2 clutch. It's just all in a day's work for what is now like the most dominant team that we've seen for a pretty damn long while.
Yeah, well, this would literally go back to like 2023 when Bliss first started in the Blast ecosystem. This is literally on par with their performance. They went 6-1 in group stages, and they have not dropped a single map in playoffs thus far. It is kind of terrifying. I think it is a lackluster performance from Ludavica. I don't think that I want to sit here and try to sell anything other than a bit of a disappointment. Vinny, there's a conversation to be had about, I guess, kind of the mindset going into a game like this. We heard from Milo, and we can only talk to Milo, right? We can't talk to everyone else's understanding of what they think of Enterprise. But he specifically was saying that Enterprise were the end goal. They were the final boss every time. Every time we've spoken to him, it's Enterprise. GG, they're nothing. Do you think maybe there's a little too much respect given to them, given the team that Ludavica are? I mean, they're full of shit posters.
Yeah, and I think we definitely saw it in that GG series earlier. They probably weren't showing as much respect, and they were playing more aggressive and really getting in the face of GG, and that sort of threw them off.
Yeah.
But we saw that Enterprise were really able to control the tempo of each of those rounds. On their attacks, they actually looked a bit more like how GG were playing in that series before, where they were very hesitant to take map control, and it led to them really like stalling out rounds. And players like Bappin thrive on that kind of thing. If you give him 1v1s up in logistics by himself, he's gonna destroy you every single time. And yeah, I think the way you put it, the tendrils of Fisher guy is probably the best way to put it. He's just got gunners everywhere. So yeah.
It's a very good way of putting it, isn't it? He's like an octopus. Well, he is.
He's like the mighty Cthulhu standing up.
He is the body, and they are just mere vessels of him. It's kind of scary as we move to Border now, notoriously a map that is very aggressive, that leans into a lot of gunfights, Dev. This is Enterprise's pick. No matter how good Ludavica have looked, no matter how intense they can play, this is Ludavica's pick with players like Tuhan and Bappin on the roster that are firing.
So to put that into context, we're going to Border now. Clubhouse, it was Ludavica's map pick. Last time these teams played against each other, it was a 7-5 in favor of EP. Luda are like, oh, we've worked on it since then. Like, we know what we're doing, right? Remember, EP also had 7-1 GG on that map previously. Now we go to Border. Now, this is a map that EP haven't played. Nope, not once. Never. And now they pick it come playoffs. You're telling me you get to the grand final and you still have stuff hidden? You're the best team in the region. You're dominating everyone. And you still have stuff hidden? Dude, Ludavica were riding a high earlier today when they knocked out GG.
Yep.
But I think they've actually met the final boss now. Like, you come up against Chiefs, you're like, oh yeah, last almost a year back to back, these guys have been the best team in the region. We beat them. Oh, we beat GG. We beat the Imports. Nah, it was Fisher Go waiting for you all along.
That's right. It's not Enterprise that are the final boss. It's actually just Fisher
It's that
guy.
slippery fish.
Like a slippery salmon. Just very quickly, for everyone at home, because we won't come back after the break, what can Ludavica do here? What do they, like, and you can be realistic with us. Can they do anything against Enterprise on this map?
They always can. They definitely have the firepower. We saw it in that series earlier. They have the ability to play well. They really need to just drop basically all expectations they have now of this series. Enterprise are the best team in the region, and coming into that series is going to be quite tough, and that can sometimes make you come back into your shell, but they just need to let it all go right now. Play how they normally play, which is aggressive and really in their face, and it might be a coin flip on gunfights. They're 1v1s, but that's the best way to play against a really good team.
Get cheeky with it. At the end of the day, Cairo's on the team. I don't think I've ever seen someone talk as much in chat as what I've seen Cairo do over the course of the last couple of years. It is a big one right now. Enterprise are but one map away, not just from crowning themselves champions, not just from going to EWC, but for going flawless throughout all of playoffs, not dropping a single map. We'll be back after this with Border.
You know how they say it's not the destination, it's the journey?
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
Well, we return to the Oceania Grand Final here, the last day for APL OCE, and so far, not so good. If you're a Ludavica fan, or maybe you're a fan of the underdog, Enterprise just absolutely walloping them on Clubhouse 7-2. Like, I mean, that is absolutely convincing. And unfortunately for Ludavica now, they head to Border, the map pick of Enterprise, where I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't think it's going to get a lot easier for them here. And EP get to go attack first up. Now, this is a map, though, Enterprise have not played so far this stage. You only bring it out in the Grand Final, though, if you've got yourself really prepared and understanding what you want to do on it.
Bands play out then. Blackbeard, Brava, Kayyid Castle. And yeah, this is going to be a very tall and very steep mountain for Luda to climb.
But if they can, Bank does await them on the other side. That's got to be the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's a long tunnel.
It's the oasis. But
you got to get there.
Yeah, it's a long trek through the desert for them here on Border, which oddly enough is map set in that kind of climate. But yeah, it's going to be really tough. I like the Brava ban here though from Luda. That's probably going to enable heavy BPC play. They'll bring out double this round. It also will make the Fenrir a popular option, maybe even Maestro, but I don't really know how you're going to play Maestro in a more kind of map like this.
Very quickly, because obviously we're not going to be on the desk, but a discussion point that I don't think we've really brought up at all this stage, and probably because there's been so many other discussions to talk about, but the Enterprise have the dynasty within them. You think about the Oceanic region, and a lot of the champions in OCE usually do it for a little bit of time. You think about the Bliss era, you think about the old Chiefs era. Do you foresee Enterprise being dynastic in nature, or do you think this is more one-off and then other teams bounce back and challenge them? Hard to say, I know.
It's hard to say. We haven't even seen this team of 5 play out the full stage together. So yeah, it's way too early to call.
I guess the answer would be how Stage 2 goes.
Yeah. I think Stage 2...
They also still need to win this Grand Final, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Stage 2 will remain pretty competitive still. It all depends on the moving pieces elsewhere. The GG stick together.
That's true.
The Luda return with the same squad, I mean. Who knows?
I mean, Luda would have to. So straight into Archives. Fisho's going to be able to get this shield down on the also. He's got the kit. He can go for a fast plant. Player watching in the window. Relays does die early, though. Fisho has been able to avoid the gas babe. He does not avoid the Nitrocell, though. And Luda are switched on for the early hit, which is what you need to be when you're playing defense. Border is switched on at all times. Tuhan going for a lurk towards bot metal, but he's not going to find anything. And I think this round's going to be very difficult for Enterprise to claw back unless Tuhan finds a freebie, and then they can start to get control towards the site. They got 90 seconds, but player now towards Vent. Looking to help clear out with Tuhan, but again, they're not going to find anything.
Yeah, they seem pretty convinced that there's a lurker below, but now they establish that it is in fact clear. They probably have a contingency for this play. Like what is the backup plan if Fish dies on plant, but with 2 players down now and little to no control, this round is really a challenge. The only way they get back in is if Luda feed picks for free.
Or get caught here from down below.
Yeah, from the vert. Like, the likes of Cairo need to be quite careful.
Physics is not going to get caught. He may catch out player if he doesn't check hard left corner. Good Mind stepped on. That's the auditory information. Physics does not move off of this. At some point, though, he certainly can and get basically a free kill.
Probably 2.
And here we go. That's the kill. And there's the second. Physics will close things out. And Ludavica, a really good start here on board of the map pick for Enterprise. In fairness, though, that essentially the play that Enterprise go for, I know you could say, okay, well, what do we do if Fisho dies?
It's an all-in kind of play.
But it's an all-in kind of play.
Yeah.
There's not really much of a plan B. The plan B is probably more apt if you happen to, it's a 3v3 or a 4v4, but in that instance, it's 5v3. You're not really going to bring the round back.
The second flawless round in this series, oddly enough, the first one was EP first round back on club.
What does that say?
Now, if you're superstitious, it may send a signal, but I'm not implying too much.
Yeah, and by the way, like the talk earlier about Enterprise, I'm not counting Ludavica out of this grand final. It's just more so.
I mean, we have to just keep it frank, right? Like this is a tough.
Yeah,
this is about as tough as it gets.
Bomb located by attackers.
Nothing is out of the realm of possibility in Siege, but all the numbers just suggest it's going to be really hard.
What Ludavica need is actually what they've gotten, which is firstly, the opening round, but secondly, starting defense on border for them is probably better. They don't have to think as much right now. You can play a little bit more off of your default positions and also just try and get a couple of rounds on the board. And if you can stifle that defensive Enterprise, build yourself up a good lead, you'll feel pretty confident going into that second half. So
they play really well with a buffer. I mean, we've seen it on display a couple times this stage. A good example was GG earlier today. They win the first 3 rounds, find comfort, give themselves the buffer in case EP respond, and that's expected. So the first 3-4 rounds here are so critical for Luda.
Realize with the entry through Passport. I think this playstyle, though, will suit Enterprise really nicely. Like, essentially, it's just like, Tui, relays, go on in, guys, and see what you can do. Fisher can go the Monty, so he can get safer entry, get information, scout out. Here comes relays. And Tuhan, for that matter. They can actually kind of play towards each other if they so choose. Happen will play the gridlock and so minimize a bit of that flank potential with the track stingers.
I mean, Luda have forfeited this quarter of the map, so they should be aware that there'll be presence inside of it already.
They're mainly just playing for the top floor control above site. We've seen some teams essentially go for a quick side execute, ignoring top floor, and if that plant does go down and it does work, you can essentially win the round off of it. Milo has been loitering around bot main.
Oh, he's got to be so careful of relays. He
Making
has no
noise,
idea.
though. He's making too much noise, and the timing. Oh, Milo, though, up close with the SMG. Shuts down the lurking Nook.
Okay.
That's a good way to start the round.
It looks like EP are trying to shape up largely direct here with a bit of pressure above to counteract the likes of Cairo. Oh, almost gets caught.
Alright, got a bit of damage in.
Okay, good support from Karma. Karma and Cairo have been working well together in this match.
Tuhan gets Enterprise on the board in this round. Battles from down below inside a workshop. Thought about the pistol through the floorboard. Better to maybe just go for the rotate, reload, and reset. There's still a minute in this round. It's only a 4 versus 3. And you've still got that Montang and certainly that brain of Fisher guy to work their way through this round. Bappen thinks he's got one very much stuck in close right. Throws in the frag grenade. I don't think that's going to do enough because it didn't bounce on through. Still sees the gun barrel. Knows he's got impinged. And he does get the kill. Cairo went for the swing. Probably needed to just play a little bit more time. 30 seconds, 3v3. And suddenly winnable for Enterprise.
Physics will want to retain vert control here. Karma likely to get in a fight up close, potentially soon with the Monty, but Fisher likes to go for the plant. 2 hunter cover, clean shot.
And he gets the kill onto Karma. No nitro cell coming out from Physics either. That plant will go down successfully. Big kill from Box. He's 3-0. Gumine up close, gut break, and he does get the kill onto Fisher guy with a bit of help from Physics. Bappen in the 1v2, playing from above. Low on health. Box will try and sit the kit with 30 seconds left. Not rush for time and will stick it the whole way. And Ludavica will get the opening 2 rounds.
Very fine margins there. It was close. Big battle in the post, but Luda just win out. EP looking to go for that direct play with minimal pressure up above. Had to pivot, had to change that plan up a little bit. Fisher eventually was able to make ground inside of the side and get that plant down, but Luda clinging in the post.
Border has not been played a lot in the Oceanic region. This is only the 4th time out of 56 games. But it has got an attacker win rate. This is a great start for Ludavica.
Big for Milo there, catching a good timing.
They brought the round back nicely, Enterprise, but Luda, they had this one covered at the end.
Nice.
Let's go, Harry!
Kill
It sounds almost a little reliefy in that that comm as well. You know, when you have that sort of hype, but it's almost that belief and that relief as well that's a part of it. Sort of like, okay, we're 2-0 up, okay. You know, that first map, forget about it. Good start here, boys. Everyone's playing well. And you said it before, they're a confidence-based team. You get these rounds on the board early and they can snowball. Saw the frost map there in the top right pit. Maloska on the frost.
Good drone work here from Fisher in the pre and now action phase. With good info on the top floor, Armory and CC respectively, or security respectively.
And to be honest, when I thought about Border, I thought EP attack. And so far, they've not been able to get the opening 2 rounds.
Yeah,
not to say that they can't do it on their own defense, but I felt like this was where their strength was going to be on this map. Again, it's the second most attacker-sided map in the region.
Well, they went for the all-in-play archives round 1. They got nitroed, fair enough. The lurk round 2, unsuccessful. So what did they do round 3?
Well,
good pinch on the box to start things off at least. So playing on the peripheral here and forcing the defense into uncomfortable positions.
That's their first opening kill on the map as well. And gets rid of Box, who was 3-0 to start. And he certainly can be a confidence player.
Physics is on drone here. I'm fairly certain there's one inside a fountain.
Large part, I think Enterprise have done a really good job with their time management so far as well on Border. He's just watching for a rotate back up main, or potentially down main, but obviously Fisho's up top at the moment.
Physics is looking to hold here maybe. Considers maybe the hatch drop.
Does have a nitrous cell. He will go the drop. Karma will lose his life. Now a big advantage for Enterprise, and the double down as well from Relays to find 2. And it leaves Physics in a 1v5, and Enterprise now surely will be able to get themselves their first round on Border. Confirmed by player, and a well-worked round. And a very convincing round as well. And also probably just dents a little bit of that momentum that may have been building for Ludavica, winning that round so convincingly, heading into the quarter-time bans as well. What do we take off the board if we're Ludavica? Do you get rid of the Montang? We only saw it the 1 round from Fisher Guy. They're going to take it off the Ace, which so far has not been used by Enterprise a lot. Only the 1 round, which was Vent Workshop. The Mirror, on the other hand, has been played twice by Ludavica, so a little bit more impactful, at least based on what we've seen so far in terms of that ban. Of course, leaves the majority of the shields available for Enterprise at their disposal. If they want to play the Blitz, the Monty, they freely can. So far, so good on Border. Feels more like a contest. Feels more like a grand final. Clubhouse was a little bit of a letdown.
So we return back to Archives Armory and casting out my background 1. It was the all-in play with Yosa for the Archives hit from EP. Karma hit the Nitro. Diffuser was down, and it was pretty much an unrecoverable situation for the attack. Enterprise again electing to bring a shield here for their second attempt, and so I mean, in combination with Lion and Capital, they could again go for a similar Archive-centric hit. Although the anticipation will be that it's probably a little less direct and maybe with a bit more map control worked over towards the likes of East Stairs, etc. Not really the kind of team where I would expect them to try and shovel in with the exact same strategy. They have that kind of depth about them. The Nomad in play to counteract the potential for runouts here from the Luda defense. It's a stack over towards security with Box playing that position and Physics up close break, so they'll have that cross. No direct top East Stairs hold here from Enterprise, but stalled out by the smoke. I'm sure Fisher will identify that pretty quickly and want to get that control. Bappin can confirm it with a drone and spots out Cairo. What does Cairo do in this position? Did he try and hold? Does he have a fall-off route? Probably not. Goes forward and gets caught. Yeah, that's not the play.
Contest that. You know,
you got to respect EP more than that.
Like, you're trying to contest as well a Montang when you aren't even worried about your backside on a 50-50 kind of split position top East Stairs. Like,
and that Physics is under a ton of pressure trying to claim
not the play for Cairo in a grand final as well. And it gives over a freebie to Enterprise, and now Ludavica need to dig deep. Oh, the timing as well. Physics was not ready for that jump in by Bappin. Sheer aggression from Enterprise, playing off that man advantage, and now double it. Now Milo goes hunting.
Oh, he's got to.
Duhan gets rid of Box. Well, Milo does hit the headshot onto Duhan. He frankly needs more and can't find it. Bappin wins his battle. Karma in a 1v4, and Enterprise are looking very likely to now tie up that scoreboard to a piece. chilling. Yeah, nothing Karma can do there.
That was a really good example of a classic snowball border attack where you get that first pick essentially for free, expending little utility and having to play very low risk, and then you snowball from there, puts the pressure onto physics, and Milo has to retake, etc., 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 and they just cut down every defender.
I don't know what Kara is on about. Monty's running right next to me. I don't think the Monty was running right next to him.
Maybe
Monty was outside the doorway, and he swung in from like...
Maybe that's what he heard, I don't know.
Classic. Yeah, I mean, look, I think in terms of...
Regardless, however,
that round, he shouldn't be swinging in that fashion, and it did kind of open up the door, and that's kind of border in a nutshell on defense. You've got to be very careful with your life. It's so valuable that if you lose a player in a key position, the attackers just start flooding in. Like the damn wall that breaks. They're all having a laugh. Enterprise look very comfortable after a little bit of a rough start to begin with in the opening 2 rounds. They're back, and yeah, they're rolling. And you think about like a player like Player, you know, like getting an opportunity to come into this team that's basically firing on all cylinders. You just got to slot in, and you might be now on a team that's going to win an entire stage. That is a very, very fortunate thing to happen for him. But he's also done his job. Like, he hasn't just come in and is just kind of average. He's come in and making the most of this stage. But this is not good for Ludavica in terms of this tech pause off the back of losing those 2 last rounds in the fashion they did, starting to really give away picks. And by the way, speaking of Player, he's the one that got the opening 2 kills in the last 2 rounds. And you think about, you know, the first 2 rounds, it was Lunchbox, it was Milo. Okay, that's the strength of Ludavica, and that's what we were talking a little bit about on the desk at times. And I look back to Clubhouse as well. Only 2 opening rounds were not converted. So far, all 4 rounds have been converted. That's been a staple that the more we kind of keep looking at that statistic, it really does hold true. Opening kills, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes 10. Minute and a half on the Vent Workshop round second. And so far, though, it does feel like Enterprise, they're looking the goods. They're 5 rounds away from being the champions of Oceania for Stage 1, and they're going to be a very intriguing prospect going into Stage 2. Win or lose in this grand final, you think about the major LAN qualifier just being announced, of course, at PAX Australia. How are they going to shape up against the top teams from Asia and APAC North on LAN?
How are they going to shape up? EWC, provided they get the invite as well.
Yeah,
I'm very intrigued. It will no doubt be a good learning experience.
And I guess that's a bit of the fun when you kind of send a team over in the Australian region right now. It's a bit of a changing of the guards. You know, it's not like you're just sending over, okay, here, Team Bliss, here they go again, top spot, off they go internationally, and we kind of know for them it's a matter of, okay, can they get to this next stage at any
It's another reset.
But now
right?
it's like a reset where it's like,
they go to their first event, they probably get spanked,
Yep.
they'll come back,
Yep.
then they'll be better for November, likely make it to Munich.
It's the blessing and the curse of having a competitive region.
If they continue this route and they go EWC, Munich, by SI, we could see a top 10 finish. It's like the storyline for every host team ever.
Very, very hopeful. It's a long year, and we're back in after a short tech pause.
10 seconds remaining.
There's a bit of funny banter in the chat as well during that tech pause.
5 seconds left.
Cairo yet to find a kill here on border, which is not like him at all, and he was the only, well, not the only one. He was one of many on Clubhouse that obviously couldn't find a lot of kills, but he did at least go 6-5, valued his life, didn't lose an entry battle, so he actually went okay on Clubhouse, but so far a shocking start here on border. And the other thing as well for Enterprise, like this has been a real team performance on border now to begin with. Relays 3, 2-Hun 3, Bappin 3, 4 for Player, and Fisher you don't need any kills from, which is the way it's going right now. Obviously Clubhouse is a little bit of a different story where Bappin put on the show. But that's what makes this Enterprise team so good, is across the board, anyone from Player to Relays there in your bottom right, they can all frag. And it's a bit like what Milo was talking about in the interview. If one player is having a down game, well, someone else is going to pick up the slack.
Kara just making sure his headphones are plugged in this time, hopefully.
Well, he heard that drone. And he hears the Gridlock Stingers as well developing in the hallway. He'll go for the drop. He's got a Nitrocell, and so does Moloska and Physics, so they'll bring 3 into the round. How many rounds do they really need? Is this 3-3 half territory fine for both teams? Might be the case. As I said though, like I haven't seen a lot of border in the Oceanic region, but attack has been where the strength has largely been in those games. So maybe still a bit of work to do for Enterprise to get more here in this half. Cairo taking early contact, doesn't want to lose his life. He's got the Nitrocell in hand, throws it up above him, maybe expecting vert pressure. Not sure too exactly why. There was a trade. I think that was a 1-for-1 trade as well. Player then gets the kill onto Box. Good pick through the doorway. And suddenly for Box, from 3-0 to 3-3, no influence in the last 3 rounds.
A lot of info still up though for defense, BPCs and Velt Cams, feeding that to Karma, who probably wants to find one and fall off, or maybe even retain control on the vert. Players still eager to contest from Archives after finding the initial pip prior. Good drone work. Drone work has been really good from EP so far.
Yeah.
Only the 4 up. The efficiency just across the half has been great.
It's just they're so good with once they get the information playing off of it. Cairo tried to play a little off angle here. Ben just try and hold.
I mean, look at this defense. It's so cramped at the moment.
It's so split, and no one can really trade each other. Cairo going for a window peek, and well, to be honest, he almost actually got a kill there, but he took the damage. 20 seconds. This is when Enterprise can do their best work. They just corral the site. They pressure you. They force you to keep moving around. Blow from the Nitro doesn't do anything. Relay's now coming over towards Lobby, gets the kill with the Mandana onto Physics, traded. Now suddenly time running low, and the kills come through.
Okay.
Ludavica's defense able to withstand that little pressure from Enterprise, and they go 3-2 up. That round, though, it just felt like it was EP until the very end, when Ludavica just get a couple of kills and they win the round. To me, they had no real momentum in the round itself.
Yeah, it had all the hallmarks of being an attacking round win. We saw how cramped the defense was. They were conscious of vert. Then there were so many angles horizontally, which was the pivot attempt there from EP. And even despite, I think, a good line scan at the end there landing, they lost those duels. It really just came down to a gunfight differential at the very end. The groundwork, the map clear, the vert, the remodeling, etc. It was all really clean from attack, but Luda sharp towards the tail end. Didn't give away their lives too freely as well. It would have been quite easy to have that discomfort translate into peaks or repositioning into the fog of war kind of established there around the side by the attack. But Luda hold firm. Final round of the half, and a 3-3 is increasingly likely.
I think 3 is fine for Ludavica off the back of what we saw from Clubhouse. I mean, it's already a better round differential than Clubhouse entirely, where they only got the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And I think they can certainly be competitive on their attack, where, of course, entry is their best method to their madness. Enterprise. It would be a very OCE grand final if they were to somehow lose it after what we've been talking about, how dominant they were in Clubhouse, and it almost feels inevitable. So far, Ludavica are putting up that one last fight and saying, we're going to try and hold strong here. And up 3-2 now on border. They've given themselves a platform, final round of the half. If they fight a 4th round, I will start to believe. Bisho now brings the blitz, and that's one thing they have exploited with the ban in terms of shield play being only the Blackbeard. They brought a lot of Monty, and now they bring the blitz. Fisher calling out, good information found. That's why shield play works so well for Fisher, guys, is this ability to convey the information and then play off of it and sort of dictate for his team how they want to proceed off of said info. Logic bomb from Relays rather early in the round.
Yeah, including OCE, they played a shield in every single round bar the last, which they've lost.
Oh, this is aggressive from Relays. They may not even know he's already this deep. No, caught. Box was switched on. Would have got that beeper information. And so far, so good from Ludavica. And what they've actually been able to do is almost like hide a little bit. They're not giving as much information over to Enterprise. You can see they're scouting, they're looking, they're trying to find something. And Relay's got a little bit over-aggressive. And Box from above hits the headshot onto Fisho Guy. Dispels that blitz. And player will fall too hard low. And Ludavica are setting themselves up very nicely to now close this half out 4-2 in their favor. Bappin falls to Karma. And this grand final still has certainly more to play out as Ludavica have a 2-round lead going into the second half.
Keep things interesting. Last round, a good example of not feeding anything into the lurk. And for one of the only times that I really noticed throughout the half, the drone economy as well, quite weak there for the attack.
They couldn't
had few
find
drones
any
left,
info.
and they really didn't have a great read. Yeah.
So a 4-2 lead for Ludavica, and in the end, they got every single round that they got the opening kill. Same as well for Enterprise, for that matter. So 100% conversion rate in terms of opening kill, which I think is probably a part and partial
If I had to guess,
reason because of Border in the way it
should,
plays.
at least on paper, have the highest conversion rate, I would imagine.
Insta Blitz ban. Will it be followed by the Blackbeard? Don't think it'll be the Monty, surely. His army to follow as well with the castle. Oh, so this is it. This is where it gets the blood boiling a little bit and the spine tingling. Ludavica 3 rounds away from a 3rd map in a grand final. Enterprise now have to dig deep a little bit here, going on to defense Border, their map pick. And this is when as well, if you're Ludavica, how do you want to play this opening round? Armory and Archives, you can hit quick. We saw that attempt from Enterprise back in the opening round, didn't work. Do you go for that more slow, stall-out tactic where you send in Cairo and Karma, play the Finker, try and take battles, climb ones? If you go 5-2 up, though, if you're Ludavica,
How the tables turn.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an interesting prospect. You're facing the Goyo with at least double canister on the default. And the smoke babes from Bap, and it is just the singular Nitro.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I do wonder, the comp from me, in my eyes, is not suggesting we'll see that style of player from attack, right?
No.
Deimos for map clear. Karma can farm and heal up mid-round. The Milo execute utility is also quite versatile. If you see an opening armory, for instance, you can still deploy that there as well. I don't think they're really locked into a singular, play style here. They'll just adapt mid-round and go for what is ideally the most optimal option.
So as Ludavica go on to their attack, again, reminder, they are the best entry team in the region. And this is where they need to very much get the most out of that statistic. 4 drones down already is not ideal. And this is an aggressive position from Bap, and surely gets droned out. A long angle through Passport.
Well, they've used that flame early, anticipating maybe the Cairo West cold, but Bappin, as you mentioned, and as we can see, down below.
No one really on drone. I mean, there's one top floor from Milo, and Karma's going to find the kill onto Bappin.
No
I don't know if they either had the information or just good game sense. Fisher goes for the swing, but it doesn't really work out. Now, there's 2 Adrenal Surges for Karma, so he can get himself back to full health, and Cairo for that. Tuhan does get the kill onto Box, though. Now dropped by Tuhan, who's been very vocal so far in the chat in this grand final. 90 seconds left into the round. Ludavica, well, at some point, they're going to have to pick up their pace a little bit.
Still double hold from the defense over towards security side here, top left of screen. And Luda have elected to forfeit that particular push, instead pressuring Office.
And Cairo deep into Office, which is going to allow that flood to come through from top east stairs. Hilo, now that's a decent pinch here on the relays, but he can drop hatch, but you almost don't mind if he drops the hatch here. They'll just force them out of security, and they won't have any security control. Play towards 90. Relays, of course, can drop and then rotate back up main stairs.
Well, if they shape for a default archives, again, keep in mind Goya Canister's still in position there. 2 of them, in fact.
They're definitely not going for security. They're going for a default entry in. Kari testing the waters. There's no Nitro cells available in the defense here. Red Ping Intel trying to now clear out towards Fountain. But it's a lot of this back defense pressure for Enterprise towards security, towards Armory. Fisho guy now pulls out the SMG and suddenly starts to feel the heat.
How is he alive?
And player up main hallway, he gets the free kill onto Cairo, who wasn't expecting that left flank. Physics does deal with Tuhan.
What?
I don't know what just happened to Milo, but it did not matter. Physics was able to get the trade, and Ludavica now find themselves 5-2 up on the second map of the grand final after they got obliterated on Clubhouse, 2 rounds away from getting us to bank, and no timeout called from Enterprise.
And I think it must be said, like, full credit to Luda. It was a really well-worked attack It almost slipped towards the end there. Fisher bought enough time for player to push down
I
long,
think
but
Enterprise helped them a little bit, no? Like they started pushing out. It's almost like they wanted to meet them head on. You
Well,
saw
I
the
think-
push down the hallway.
I think after the response, it was 4v5, and I think they did a decent job. Fisher held on for so long and needed that support, so I think the push forward is the correct play, and they had to rely on Luda letting it slip, and ultimately they traded. So.
I guess that's taking matters into your own hand a little bit. If you win on those pushes and you kind of
like we said, and it remains true, 100% entry conversion. So if you're the team that loses the opening pick, you have to send a Hail Mary. It's the only option.
So 5-2 up, Ludavica making a contest of this grand final after arguably not making a contest really on Clubhouse at all. They got absolutely smashed. And again, it should be said, this is the map pick of Enterprise. So it's looking now somewhat likely we may be just trading map picks in the grand final, which I was not expecting. But I guess this, though, is a really good lesson again. When people talk about saving strats or wanting to hide maps, you have not played this map at all stage long. I don't care what you're doing in the background, workshopping scrims, but this is your first live go of it, and you're bringing it out in the grand final, and clearly it's not working out too well for Enterprise. Long way to go. Job's not done. And as much as Ludavica can get on a snowball and start to look really good, the same thing can happen the other way. They can drop rounds quickly.
Can very quickly flip, especially with the tempo of Border. You can find yourself staring down the barrel of loss streaks in terms of rounds rather quickly. So Luda just need to maintain pressure here. Show versatility on attack. Interestingly, the Oryx has been brought into the comp here from the EP defense, a player positioned over towards security currently. Rayora in play here as well from Luda, maybe looking to go direct.
Milo with the opening kill onto Fisho. Guy up close though, relays, but he got traded. Damage done anyway, and then Milo will fall. Kyra in the 1v3. Luda tried to go fast and hit them quickly. It has failed. He's Kyra in a big position, but he hits the headshot onto Bappin. Could he create a little show reel? He goes for the kit plant, and rightly so. No one here close by to contest. Player will drop. Now, he's quite low. That plant is successful. Kara gives himself a great opportunity. And red ping intel on the low HP player. This is very winnable, but why are you pulling out the ROU? Now the turnaround shot knows where Tuhan is, but left himself little room. Needed to keep gun up. You had the ping, but I think he felt the pressure. Cairo is so close, and certainly an NT, but it's an EP round win.
Yeah, Cairo will be kicking himself. To be fair, he was gifted a little bit of an opportunity. We saw the vert denial there from Tui and didn't get the angle. Just gave him that small opportunity. But again, though, it's another sense Rayora fail in OCE. I feel like we've just seen so many at this point.
And that's the first round that an opening pick has not been converted.
That tuck though. And
credit to Relays, he did a really good job towards the main entry.
Yep.
By the way, Milo at 100% cost. But yeah, fast-paced round. So that's the first time we've seen Luda really flip it. And there's that defense from Relays. And they were switched on, but Kara, like, that's a wicked headshot. Gets the plant down. Had red ping here, but he goes to ROU. And ultimately then lost the battle against Tuhan.
Yes! Let's fucking go, boys. Let's fucking go.
Good shit, good shit.
Bro, we had that round.
Changing mags.
Hyped up Enterprise. Ludavica on the other side. Probably feeling they let that round slip away to some degree, because Cairo was in a good spot to clutch it after he got that kill behind the bomb chassis. Milo 3-0 on the entry so far on Border. 100% cost, but he's 5'6". He's the only player going negative, but he's got a 111 EPS. Funny old statistics.
Yeah, it's remarkable that his cost is so high.
Feels like that circuit breaker moment could be happening here right now, round 9. The Ludavica get map point, or can Enterprise get on a little bit of a roll?
It's an east stairs forfeit this time around from defense. No smoke in play. Karma taking that ground.
Nade, force relays back, doesn't do a lot. Nitro, ineffective, wasted. So Good headshot angle. Relays could win that. Oh, that nade just kept bouncing around quite awkwardly, but he resets nicely, gets the headshot.
There's no follow-up. Double nade and no follow.
Does get the opening kill, but there was one back there for Ludavica. Same as well. Just then, Karma trade onto Relays 3v3. So Ludavica picking up the pace a little bit here on border.
Cover the diffuser.
One Nitro remains for Enterprise. Still 2 flashes, a frag grenade, 2 adrenal surges, and well, belt of bolts for Molosca.
Tuhan with a pre-placed Nitro down below on that default plant position. Thank you, Sky, another of our very sexy observers for finding that one.
Oh, sexy.
Well, they are.
I thought you were going to say highly talented.
Well, they're that too.
Fisher guy, by the way, 1 and 6. Now we know he's not a fragger by any means, but 3v3, you want guys that can find kills at this point. Minute left. And a little slowdown from Ludavica after their rather fast-paced hit to begin the round. And this is, I mean, right now, this is a genuine 50-50. Either of, I know it sounds a bit silly, but either of these two could win this round. Next kill is so important.
Fisher has the Zoto stall out, which is good here from the Tuberal. Milo, though, with full belt of Util. Still a nade and 2 flashes for attack.
Can't go too late here, though. Now you're at that 30-second mark. Zoto canister, a little bit of a stall out. You can shoot that on the left side, but there's another one on the right side doorway. One more Zoto still remaining from Fisher guy. 20 seconds now. Okay, clock starting to now favor Enterprise.
Hey, where's Milo going on? He's gone all the way around to Archives.
Tuhan's going to get a free kill here as well if this doesn't get checked. There's no time left in this round. They've just done nothing but just sit and wait. Milo with the reposition, looking to come in towards Archives. Bappin gets the kill onto Milo. Here's the freebie for Tuhan. Although he's missed the shots, he doesn't get said freebie, but no diffuser. Oh, what a calamity for both teams.
Yeah, Fish, I can't believe it. I mean,
oh my goodness.
Milo pivoted so late there. So late.
Oh no.
And was completely on an island.
And you would imagine Tuhan, as soon as he allows the position through the doorway and he knows he's the last player alive, he's probably thinking, I've lost the round.
Yeah.
And then time runs out and he's like, oh, I won the round. Well, not him specifically.
Well, he didn't die.
He didn't really do anything, but he was alive at least. 5-4. And yeah, it's the kind of round as well where now for Ludavica, more than anything, they've just got to move on very quickly from that. They can't linger on it. You can't think, oh, guys, what are we doing? Or what happened here? Or why did this break down?
I think in Marlo's mind, it was like the stall out over towards Armory looked too difficult to push through, so he wanted to take a calculated risk Archives, but
it took too long.
Just didn't pay off.
So Bathroom and Towers, 5-4, 10th round.
Defenders, protect your bomb.
Ace mirror bands. The Ace, by the way, has been played every single round by Ludavica. The mirror not once by Enterprise. You can definitely tell, actually, you kind of think about the previous half as well. Like, EP are banning more on what the other team's actually doing and using, whereas Ludavica are going for more like preset bans.
Activate jammer. 10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, Ludo instead looking to counterpick in terms of comp.
5
Box
seconds to go.
jumping between the Brava and the IQ, but lands ultimately on that IQ.
Attackers
And that will be a good tool against Relays on Valk. Quad Nitro in play for EP. So it's absolutely critical that Box does his job there. If he dies early or if he doesn't find info, that's going to be invaluable for the defense. If and when Luda get map control, they'll be bombarded by Nitros.
This is a real mental test map right now for Ludavica. It really is.
And Box hasn't seen that cam security yet. I think he's, okay, maybe just saw it there. No, he didn't.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's got to get it now.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm having a heart attack.
Scanning for electronic
So there's
devices.
a second Valk cam armory. I'm not entirely sure about the position of the third. I haven't seen it flick through yet, unless it has already been dealt with. That's one Nitro down, 3 remain.
I guess when you got 4, you can certainly be able to extend usage of those.
God, these observers are good. Good looking.
Well, Box is also doing his job as well on the IQ, getting rid of these Valcams.
Yeah, for sure. Fisher expended his Nitro as well. I believe it was a pre-place. I haven't heard that detonate. He is down below in Workshop. third rip from Tuhan. That one has little impact.
Okay, so they've got one Nitro left, although Tuhan finds the kill onto Molosca anyway.
Yeah, Molosca
That's
just
the cover
wandering in.
tower. That's a big pick for Enterprise. And answer back, Bappin, beautiful shot. And timing is everything. And Box able to at least get the kill onto Tuhan, steadies the ship a little bit. It started to look a little bit crooked, but now 3v3, just over a minute. One flash, 2 frags. Boogie Auto Breach is available. Still a Nitrocell available as well for player. In fact, that's really the main utility. Relays finds the kill onto Box. Player able to survive. And he's able to drop back down towards site. In fact, all 3 players now will be playing site locations.
The hard breach tunnel as well on this second floor has made life so challenging for Luda in terms of trying to contest that. They don't really have many other options outside of either a hatch drop or some kind of pivot.
Volcam in tellers, by the way.
Yeah. And play it with a Nitro as well.
Boogie Auto Breach is still available. One more. 25 seconds. Courage just desperately trying to find some information from above. They have to go for a drop plant. There is still that Nitro from player. Physics will go first. Goes for the plant, looking to cover, and immediately shot out, and this should be the round. It's 5-5 as Enterprise have gotten on a roll, and that may very well force a tactical timeout from Ludavica. But to be fair, at 5-5, it doesn't always end up being the case. Sometimes you allow that next round to be the one to see if you decide if you want to talk things over. The 11th round, the breakpoint round, and more importantly, 3 in a row for Enterprise has now got them in the position of momentum. They are well and truly on top now. They got the last 2 opening kills. They're starting to win a little bit more convincingly.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
They are 2 rounds away from being the champions of the Oceania League for Stage 1.
Vent Workshop as well will be fascinating because we saw that really quick hit attempt from Luda with the Ray Sense combo, and then the Log Vents from Relays up close on the Vigil was enough to contest that and break it down almost entirely.
Been a much more competitive map though, which is great, because obviously Clubhouse was just way too one-sided. But even if you look at like the numbers, just the raw statistical numbers, the bottom fraggers for Ludavica are on 6 kills, the top's on 9. You look at Enterprise, disregard Fisher, he's not there to get kills, but 8, 9, 9, 5. You know, like a lot of the numbers have been rather equal. It's a 5-5 scoreline. For the most part, Luda have been better at the entries, but not by a lot. EPS numbers are similar. It's been a really good contest and goes to show. And I think when you look at the upper bracket semi-final and 8-6 on Bank, Enterprise certainly have another gear they can go to, but Ludavica aren't that far behind them. They have now allowed a 5-2 scoreline lead to be completely evaporated. Who can get map point at the conclusion of this 11th round? Karma trying to be aggressive towards top east stairs. No direct contact. Vent Workshop here for the 11th. Fisher with an early Nitro, and that doesn't amount to much. I will say that's one thing that hasn't been going the way for Enterprise, guys, is that the Nitro Cell usage, for the most part, has been off the mark. Headshot from Box with the LMG, gets rid of Relays, opening kill for EP. Another Nitro that doesn't really connect.
Yeah, it's too late.
They've only got 1 remaining now with Tuhan over towards Armory.
I was about to say 10 drones up. It's now 9 for Luda. So they should have no issues gaining information late round. They also have 1 logic bomb remaining. So we get the second on cooldown. Oh, Karma dies.
Karma dies though.
Okay.
Big pick for player.
Final line scan.
Was that towards like 90 or something, or was he aggressive?
I didn't spot
I can't really see it on the overview, but player was like deep side, or above side, I should say, over towards archives. Bappin staying tucked in. And very much right now, Enterprise have said, we're going to give up top floor. So no contest at all from Enterprise.
I should allow Milo to come across with the final auto breach and work that.
Bappin, I'm imagining, has not been droned out into play.
Highly unlikely. I haven't seen them flick a drone in that position either.
He's definitely one to watch as a win con for Enterprise. 40 seconds. Getting concerned for the time factor. Yeah, you deal with Fisho, but you got to now deal with Baffin. Surprise, Cairo. Position has already been taken. And suddenly EP have now got the advantage. Milo just trying to send it in towards server and leaves Box in a 1v3. He's a young gunner. He's got a bright future ahead of him, but this is a tall order. Had the yellow ping and had the chance. Needed to probably get that kill. And now EP, no. Front entrance, fall back. Let him play the time. There's not much of it. You can't really clear all these positions. Everyone's just hiding. Bappen finds the ankle. Enterprise find match and grand final point. And there is that tactical timeout from Ludavica.
Bappen ended up being the difference maker. A ton of info available and on the board for Luda, but none in that critical position.
Tuhan's tilting me, and I'm not even in the game. I'm starting to get affected.
That is 4 straight for EP.
Insane turnaround.
The only 2 rounds where the entry has not been converted as well.
Both Ludavica.
Both Ludavica. So the late round conversion proving costly in both rounds 8 and 11.
It's going to feel like the one that got away for them on this map, and it's not the first time either. You know, 7-5 on Clubhouse between these two teams went the way of Enterprise. 8-6 on Bank went the way of Enterprise. So when these teams have met on all of the maps individually, it's either been a close win for Enterprise or an absolute blowout in favor of Enterprise. And that's the concern for Ludavica. They haven't really been able to flip those close games and get something back against them. And in the big blowout games, they're the ones that look second rate. 6-5. Grand final certainly not over yet, but I tell you what, it could be done in a couple of minutes because Enterprise are on 4 rounds straight. And guess what? You're heading to the best defensive side on the map, Armory and Archives. Here's the real test right here, right now for Ludavica. You are facing grand final point on a tough site against an Enterprise team that has all the momentum right now. This is the biggest task. Your reward overtime and a little bit of a mini reset. You don't have to dig through the trenches. It's not the long haul marathon to get back into this. It's one singular round. Entry critical. But apparently not the be and all, as has been the case in this second half.
10 seconds to go.
Otherwise, we will be crowning Enterprise as the champions of Oceania for, well, the first time in this region for this team that's been put together, newly built team, and of course for this organization. And later in the year, we'll see if it's the start of something special.
It'd be a really big moment for EP. Several of their players will be shipped off overseas for their first time as well, which is a big achievement for any player in APAC.
Relays and Bappen will get their first chance. Obviously, Tuhan and Fisher Guy have been overseas. And I think that's something that would help them a lot, is having someone like Fisher in your corner. When you've got international event. Job's not done, though. They stay locked in. This is where Ludavica cannot be scared. That feeling of, I don't really want to die straight away. Someone has to just take the onus on themselves. That might be someone like a Cairo. Nitro ripped from relays. They've got 3. Again, it doesn't feel like these Nitros have been impactful, though, for Enterprise. Maybe the one failing point of this second half, they haven't really been connecting with them.
Relays catches a good timing there, able to escape. There was a top east hold already established by Ludavica, but don't catch him.
And I went too soon, because Fisher Guy gets the most impactful Nitro of them all. That's Box dead. That's the Thatcher off the board. And an opening kill for Enterprise that sets them up nicely.
Still impact EMPs available, though, for Luda, so not completely devastating, but may complicate things a little bit later on with the Kaid up.
And only 90 seconds left. Could this be the conclusion of the grand final coming up rather shortly? Karma, Physics, Milo, Kyra. Has anyone got a hero play within them?
Kind of posturing for just a straight Archives hit and looking to simplify.
This is where your decision-making has to be quick and you've got to commit to it. You can't dilly-dally. So bolts go in from Milo. They're going to go for the plant. They're going to try and go for the quick hit and hope there's no real contest. Still a Nitro available
Relays
from Tuhan. He's going to throw that. He's going to blow that. He's going to be able to deny that. And Enterprise now moments away and certainly will be the champions of the Oceanic region for the first time as this roster, as this team. And Milo respects this team greatly, and all he can do now is just sit outside and certainly respect them from a distance, but that distance will be second place for Ludavica. It's admirable. It's a really good spot for them in this particular stage, 150 SI points. But for Enterprise, all 300, they'll be invited off to the Esports World Cup. And they will be crowned the best team in the region. As Player puts the final bullets into Molosca. It's all said and done. And for Player coming into this roster, midway through this stage, it's a grand prize, the best team in the region. Ludavica, second will have to do for stage 1. But that roster, you would imagine, guys, should look to bounce back next stage and compete again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams throughout the stage, Jake, surpassing our expectations. But what a showing from Enterprise throughout the entire playoffs. And it's the cherry on top. It's their ticket to EWC, Rob, and I'm sure they'll be very pleased.
I mean, I would be. I'm sure they will be. This is an unbelievable performance from Enterprise. This is kind of a little unprecedented in Australian Siege, or Oceanic Siege, if you will, the wider region. Typically, we will have a team that builds their way through a couple of stages in either Tier 2 or Tier 1, and they start edging toward the top end, and then eventually they win, and it's all this massive congratulations, and, you know, well, the adulations go toward them, but this is a roster that was built months ago. Like, not years ago, months ago. They've played one stage of T1 Siege, and this is the performance. Not a single map dropped in a grand final, semi-final, quarter-final, and better than that, only one map dropped across the entire campaign. Absolute hats off to this roster, and I think it needs to be said, it needs to be pointed out. It's been said 100 times, I don't care. Hats off to Fisho guy. This guy is the best, he is the best player we've ever had in Oceanic Siege. Don't care, don't care. It's not even close, it's not even close. He fundamentally has built, performed, and maintained the best teams in the region for the last 4 years running, Dev, but hats off. I mean, the whole roster needs to take a massive bow.
Yeah, they certainly do. What a well-deserved win for EP. And yeah, like you said, the Team Bliss roster, right? Like when they rose to power, it was a slow formation for years. Originally, they were called Team Ferox. They got picked up by Team Bliss.
Yep.
And they were kind of mid-pack for a long time. They weren't even in APAC South when your teams like Wildcard, Knights, and Chiefs, even Order, were at the top.
Yep.
Bliss slowly made their way to their dominance. And then they had a very long era of dominance. They dropped Oda, he went and formed Chiefs, and out of nowhere, this brand new team has success.
Yep.
And then they drop Fisher and Tuhan. Those two go and make their own team, and immediately success. It's been a couple of months now that this EP roster has been a thing.
Yep.
But nobody expected they would actually overtake not just Chiefs, not just GG, but everyone in the region and assert themselves as the best. And in such a fashion, they have dropped one map to Outlaws of all the teams, or Outlast rather, I should say. I always get those two confused. Outlast of all teams in their whole campaign.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
It is. I mean, what's that? 6 matches in playoff, 7 in regulation. That is just absolutely ridiculous. But it's time to welcome in a person that we have had a lot of admiration for on the desk over the last couple of weeks. An individual that has had a very rough trot of trying to find an organization to stick with. It is Player himself. Player,
Hello, boys.
Cannot give you... if you were physical, I would want to bear hug you right now because the storyline that we've been watching over the last couple of years, I met you all the way back at the Combine, which is like 2 or 3 years ago now, and relatively unknown back then. Since then, you've jumped from roster to roster to roster, and you've come in for the playoffs. You haven't even been there for the whole stage, and you perform the way you did today, the way you did last week, the way you did the very first week of playoffs. What does it mean to you as an individual to win this, to be the Siege Oceanic champions, but also know that you're going to go to your first international event?
Yeah, I'm really proud of the boys, and I really appreciate them hitting me up for Killerman's spot. And after Chiefs, I was really done with Siege. I moved on with life. I was done. But just randomly, this opportunity came to me. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And I'm really blessed to be in this spot. I'm really proud of the boys. Yeah.
Vinny?
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken a few times about, hey, Chris. Hey, brother.
My boy Vinny.
How weird's this? Yeah, we've spoken about how long the team's actually been together. What do you think has been the most important point, especially considering how recently you came in being able to make it gel and really work?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you guys know, like I've been through different amount of teams. I've teamed with almost everyone in the pro league scene.
Yep.
So being under Fisher Guy is like a complete unique experience. I think my mindset playing into these games is like just completely unique, and it's honestly like it fits my play style a lot better. And yeah, like I came into this team just a week before playoffs, and I think we've just done really well into like the team helping me get in the game. And yeah, I'm very proud of the boys as well.
Yeah, it has been quite a ride for you. You've been on so many different teams. I have it. The first kind of pro level team that you joined was actually Knights back after they lost their organization. Since then, you've played, like you said, with just about everyone, even the Chiefs roster, when last year they made Montreal. But of course, you were kind of in that 6-player position. Now, I assume you're on the main roster here, like you're taking Killerman's spot for real.
I hope so.
I sure hope so.
I tell you what, I'm having a word with Mingo if it doesn't happen.
Well,
mate.
coming into today, you actually had a better than 2.0 KD in your playoffs run so far. Like, you've been insane. Number one rated player in the league, despite only playing about 40-something rounds. And now you're going, not only you've become an OCE champion, but you've also qualified or you've been invited to an international tournament in EWC. What does it mean to you to potentially, like, actually make a little bit of a career and a little bit of money out of playing Siege professionally?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I've been playing this game since I was 14. Vinny would know, like, since I was a literal like a squeaker, and like this is just like absolutely like I cannot even imagine like I'm even going to an international event, and yeah, it's just like basically just making my dreams come true. When I was like 14, 15, playing the game, would never expect for me to just go and win and come number one, which is just really like I'm very happy, and yeah. Thanks to everyone for supporting us as well.
Anything else from either of you boys?
I'm still digesting the fact that Enterprise are the champions.
I know.
Like,
it's going to take us a couple of days.
Chiefs and GG. What happened to Ludavica? Like, actually, you guys are on top.
You know what? On that player, I actually this is just a general question for the region right now, because it's in a very strange spot. You've obviously been team to team. You've seen different dynamics. You've seen the way some teams have dominated, the way other teams have struggled to make the mark. From your perspective, what has forced this change? Is it just the breakup of GG that's, I guess, flourished everyone into different positions? Like, how do you see it?
I think, I don't know, this scene is probably the most competitive scene like we've ever seen. Yeah. But I just think it's because that Bliss team, they've completely just split apart into every other roster. So like I think like the skill gap has definitely closed in, obviously, from Bliss. And yeah, I think it's just like the battle of the Bliss members, and obviously Fisher's on top. That's why he's the GOAT.
That is why he's the GOAT. Can you confirm as well? Would you call Fisher the GOAT of the Australian region?
He's the GOAT of the ocean. Are you serious right now?
Like, there we go. No one's going to say anything different. Player, as per usual, we do this for everyone. It might mean a bit more for you, but would you like to say anything before we let you go and you start preparing for your very first international Siege event?
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone for supporting us, as well as the org for supporting us as well. And I really appreciate, and I will not take this opportunity for granted, obviously with my team picking me up as well. I want to say thanks for all my friends watching back at home, my girlfriend as well. Thank you guys for supporting me and the team as well. Thank you guys. And thank you to you boys as well for casting our game.
Well, you know what? I'll let Guz and Xenox know. I actually won't. We really don't like them. But it was our pleasure to break down and analyse. Yeah.
I still don't remember the crash out.
Yeah.
Xenox crash out on me leaving the game. I won't forget that.
It's turned back around.
I'm joking. That's my fault. It's
gone 180, mate. Now the crash out's on him. Player, thank you so much, mate. I'm so happy for you. And best of luck at EWC.
Hope I do you guys proud.
You will.
Well done, Chris.